I've been drinking. I get filthy when that liquor get into me.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Squishee Sandwich. And for this morning, the classical vocals of Morena. Just kidding. That bitch can't sing.
What? I sound great. Patrick, let's sing.
Some bitches do, this bitch won't. Get up in my squishy sandwich without a quote. Ain't no need to flex, you ain't even in my zone. You be trying to go, we already on the road. Don't kiss no toes, I be sitting on my throne. Don't multitask, you already on hold. Know when to fold, this here is gold. Scraping off the road, I evolve every road.
What the fuck?
Welcome back.
Hi, nice to be here.
We're going to call it... Oh. We're going to call
Duck
it Duck the Fuck,
Patrick.
Duck the mother... Duck the fuck. Fucking shut up.
I had a Michelle Williams moment. I just had a...
Gladys, he done stole your place.
Come on, Patrick, get it together.
Look here, Kelly and Michelle. Y'all about to ruin my show, okay?
It's just March and I'm the new Gladys.
I need my spot back. Come on.
Welcome back, everybody. This episode will be called Duck the Fuck. And it's going to be full of some interesting stories. Weird, not so weird, and a catch-up on episode. What was the last episode we did?
5.
No, catch-up on the Jesse case and a couple other things. So stay tuned.
That was episode 3.
Oh, good. All right.
We had a lot of episodes so far.
Yeah, and we're doing really good. I think we're doing good. We got some good traction. We got some good views.
Yep.
I think we're all still severely committed to making this podcast popular and like really reaching people out or whatever.
We're so committed. We're literally fighting over who's the most committed.
That's shady.
Okay, duck the fuck, Patrick. Don't do that.
Don't put me behind the music. I'll spill the tea.
Behind the music, you're hilarious. I was just gonna say something. Just slipped my mind, girl. Just slipped my mind. How's everybody's week? Where is everybody? Soul check, people. Where's your soul at today?
My soul's right here with me. I don't know about y'all, but my week was fantastic. I got the chance to train this week finally because I did start a new job around the very busy holiday time frame, which was like around Black Friday. I think it was a week before Black Friday. So I hit the ground running and I really just did my best to hang on for that very, very busy time period. So now that everything is winding down at work, I was given the opportunity to go out and actually train. And that's what I've been doing this week. And it's been very helpful. So I have a lot of takeaways to take back to my store. And so that's what I've been up to. So
basically, you took on a role with 0 turnover and ran the shit out of it. And then once they saw how good you were, they're like, all right, we can put you with the trainer.
They're like, we can give you 2 days out the store to go train. I was like, but it was supposed to be 2 days.
That's military right there.
I was like, okay, I'll take it. And it was a very good experience at the other store. So I'm very, very grateful for the team to be able to take me in and teach me a couple of things that I can take back. So it's been a great week.
Awesome.
Come on, Black Excellence.
Yes.
That's awesome. What about you, Patty Cakes? Where are you at? Since we know you're always somewhere new.
Where am I at? Where am I at so far this week?
Where's your mind at? Because I got a text earlier. You were like, I need to vent. Let's start recording.
Yeah, what's that about? I am interested.
Can I take off my wig?
Sure, let's all do that.
Let's all do that.
Right, just give me one moment. Thank you. One moment. Okay.
Gladys gonna take hers off.
Before I vent.
She's actually taking hers off. There we go.
There we go. Oh, God. Yes.
Give me 1 second before I
vent. Yes. Right here, Patrick.
Just listen really quick. Just listen. I'm going to give you some AMSR. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Can we talk?
Let's talk. Girl.
Oh, my wig is off. Let's talk.
Yeah, she took the wig
off. I'm so
over
my fucking job.
Why? What happened?
Girl, I just can't stand people. It's like, how do you work in customer service and you're getting to the point where you just can't stand people? Like, just, I don't know. I guess so for all of y'all who don't know, I work in the aviation industry, so I am a flight attendant, right? So I'm always, like, I guess you can say I'm always on stage. I'm always on, and I think other flight attendants can agree as well. Like, in this particular role, even if you work in the airport, girl, you work at like the duty free, like you start to see like the foolishness and how people can truly lack no kind of common sense as well as no common decency towards another human being. So like I was on a flight, we're coming to like California or whatever, and my coworker, she put her hands on me.
Oh!
And so that turned into a whole argument because like I got mad because I was like, don't you put your hands on me. And basically when we landed and we got off the plane, I tried to sit down and explain to her. I was like, you're a white woman of a particular age, because she was older. And I was like, it doesn't matter if you have 6 kids. I'm not one of those kids. I'm your coworker, and you need to treat me as such. I'm your equal. Mm-hmm. And so I tried to explain to her, like, you can't put your hands on me just as much as I can't put my hands on you, because, bitch, if I put my hands on you, when we landed in California's finest would have been ready to arrest me for assault. So it may not be the same because I'm a black man, but you need to understand for your sake, it doesn't matter if I'm young. It doesn't matter if I'm black. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't put your hands on me. So she didn't get it, and she tried to use her like whole like white fragility and her white tears and be like, oh well, but
what did she
you
do
said
exactly?
that I was lazy, and I'm like, girl, because you lazy. If you're a lazy worker, you're a lazy worker. It's just what it is. Like girl.
But what did she do? Like, how did she put her hands on you? That's my question.
So she grabbed my wrist, and this is my bad carpal tunnel wrist. So for all of you. I have bilateral carpal tunnel, so it's so bad to the point now I can't even do a push-up. So like I'm trying to like deal with it until I can get to like move and start a mortgage that's cheaper than $1,700 in apartment rent.
You better go to the pool and get them hydro aerobics going.
Girl, I'm like, I just feel like I need to strip at like, I don't know. I need to figure out a way to pay this.
So did you fall over and say, oh?
Well, see, that's the thing. So it hurt so bad. I looked at her and I was like, don't you put your hands on me. And see, don't you hate when you have a situation and you're like, damn it, I could have milked that. But it was like, I try to approach a situation as a human and not try to take advantage of other people. And the thing is this, like a lot of white people don't necessarily have experience when it comes to, especially older people, when it comes to dealing with like younger black people who don't want to play a role in terms of like being how do I put this? Like, for instance, like, you're not superior to me, we're equals. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I guess, like, a lot of older white people, like, oh, you're young, you're a person of color, like, I can talk to you any kind of way. No, like, girl, no, like, I've been at this company longer than you have. I may be younger. I work harder than you. Like, I'm actually greater than you, but in terms of, like, our role, we're equal.
Right.
So anyway, like that's just I had to deal with that because I just had to vent about that because it's just like as a person of color, it's very frustrating, especially as a black young man, to be in a situation where like, and I guess this is why I kind of like feel for Jussie Smollett, because it's like it's hard to be in a situation where like constantly you have to be very critical of your actions because even if like for instance Emmett Till, if you look quote unquote at somebody the wrong way, that's your life on the line.
Right.
And, as a person of non-color, it's frustrating because they get away with so fucking much that they could even put their hands on you and not even feel like there should be consequences for their actions. Right. So that's why I had to take my wig off. I feel like I need to go work for like an all black run business or something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I don't know if that's always the best.
Girl, I got to figure out something, girl.
Have you watched Insecure where Molly went to work at an all black firm and she was like, I don't know if I like this anymore. because then she had
something where like someone values me as a person and not like I'm not a token, but also at the same time I'm just not like treated differently. It's hard, and I think a lot of the listeners who are of color and they work in a place that like not necessarily is all white, but like you work with a lot of white people who don't just get it, and I think that's a frustrating thing. Like they're not like
my ex-boyfriend.
They're not enlightened, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's just my situation.
I had a small moment recently when I went to Best Buy, like when we were setting up for this podcast thing, and I was trying to find a cable. And I went once, the guy was like, I think we have them here, I think we have them there. And then I had gone to a different store, didn't find what I was looking for. I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can just get it, whatever he has shown me. I went back and I didn't remember where it was. That was in my crazy head rush or whatever. So I asked somebody and the guy was like, I think it's over there. And the one thing I hate in customer service, if you work there, is if you say, I think. That means you don't know. So just say you don't know and find somebody who can help me actually take me to where it's at. So I was, at that point, I was already flustered. So I was like, can you do your job and take me to where it's actually at and not tell me where you think it is? And the look on his face. And
was it the Best Buy like where we live at, like off that main road?
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God. It's like everybody there.
It was really bad when I went there too to get the headphones.
Yeah.
Super bad. Like this guy, one of the associates was on his phone walking around through the store. And I was like, can someone check me out?
That particular Best Buy is terrible. And because like I had a situation where like I went there to get an iPad case that had like a keyboard in it. And when I was in there, like the store, like it's never merchandised correctly. And we'll put you on blast, actually. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we will. But I like went down to buy it and it was like, girl, this is $80 or $70. And I was like, girl, that said it was $20. Like I'm not about to pay $80. So I went back and I double checked. And sure enough, it was merchandise. It's like $30. So we had to call like the manager was like, well, I was like, no, like call. So the GM was in the store that day. And I was like, he came up and because he saw like me, I was getting loud. I was mad because I was like, no, this is bullshit. Like, no one wants to help me like pick out the perfect product for me. And so I do it myself. And then like you don't have it merchandised correctly.
Right. And that's
so he gave it to me for $30. So I kind of like Joanne to scam them out of that.
And not really, because like knowing my experience and Gladys's experience there, it's like that place, whoever
Excuse me, my name is Morena.
Knowing that place and knowing Morena over here and her experience, I understand why you would take it to that point, because that's how I felt. Like I'm walking around I don't know where shit is. And the cable I was looking for shouldn't have been placed next to the TVs. It should have been next to the headphones or the mics.
Horrible
merchandising. Like, get your shit right.
Yeah, and not only that, if you work in customer service, it is called customer service for a reason. You're supposed to be servicing the customer and making sure.
But just don't get crazy.
Don't get crazy, right? But make sure that the customer is there to get something and to purchase something. They're in your home, so you're going to take care of them, right? That's basically how I train my staff to give 100% customer service and provide solutions for the customers.
So let me ask you a question with that, since we're on that subject. So what if you had a customer that came in entitled and rude and was totally disrespecting your staff? And like, let's say there was a scarf that was like $20, maybe like $50. And she was like, well, last time they gave me a 10% discount because, and she's like, every time I come here, they gave me a 10% discount. And let's say that was like one of your most high value customers that like ever comes in the store. Like you see her almost all the time, like, but the policy is like, it's the price. We can't keep giving you 10% discounts. Like, how would you deal with that kind of customer who came in entitled and was rude? Like, I'm talking about like extremely rude.
Oh, I would enable resting bitch face.
What?
I would enable resting bitch face and just stare until she either decided to walk away or she just stared at me awkwardly, not knowing what to do, and she'd be forced to walk away.
Thank God you work in the arts.
Okay, so let me answer that entitled customer question.
I'm
So, because I've been in retail management for many years, I train my team to step back and let the manager take care of it. Because what I do, I remove all emotions from the situation. I don't even think about the customer's emotions at that point, because I'm dissecting the information and I'm trying to provide a solution right then and there without any emotions involved. So if the customer is going off and doing all this stuff, I'm just like, I let them ramble for a little bit and then I bring it back. And I'm like, ma'am, I apologize that ma'am or sir, I apologize that this is what you've been used to. However, we cannot continue to give you this discount or do this for you because it is not our policy. And then just explain it to them, because maybe it's where no one has ever taken the time to explain that that's not the policy. So, and then usually people back down and they're like, okay, I understand. But if it's that customer that's like, no, I really need it. I'm just like, unfortunately, I can't. I'm sorry. And then usually they just stand there and stare, and I'm just like, okay, you have a nice day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to break the rules like multiple times, and then who's going to get dinged for it? I'm going to get dinged for it.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, that's what's frustrating about like my line of work. It's just like, it's a consistency piece. So like, it's like if you work at a hotel and like every time you come in that hotel, like, and then you have that one employee that's trying to be consistent and they're getting thrown under the bus because like they're just trying to follow the policy and do the right thing. And it's like,
yep. One thing I will not have is a customer disrespecting my associates. I cannot stand that, and I let them know, ma'am, you don't have to be ma'am or sir. Why do you keep saying ma'am?
I don't know.
What is wrong with me?
Oh.
Men are rude too.
Well, all right.
So yeah, so that's what's going on. I had to vent about that because that was just wearing me out all damn day. And then on top of that, like dealing with crazy customers.
I do think you handled the situation very well.
I say sue them. White on black crimes. She grabbed his broken wrist. Petty Patty wasn't even legally allowed to respond in the way he should have.
I know.
Or else
because if she would have caught me in the street, she would have caught hands.
An old fragile white lady. You're ridiculous.
I don't care. Don't put your hands on me. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you're 80. It doesn't matter if you're 10. Even if you're a child, if you're adult enough to throw fist at me, you're adult enough to receive it. I mean, I hate to be so crash about it, but like, we need to come step back and realize that like we all need to respect one another,
right? And
we all need to respect each other's space. And more importantly, you have to understand that for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. Because you can't touch me and then be like, oh well, because I was on the card too, and you were on the card, or I was doing this and you were doing that. And I was like, no. At the end of the day, that gave you no reason to put your hands on me,
right?
Like, doesn't matter. Like it's wrong, and that's what frustrates me because it's just like I just hate the double standards and just like it's continuing and it's just very. I guess it's very frustrating to be black in America.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what it boils down to, and I think a lot of our non-people of color who are woken about the issue are aware, and that's what I think the biggest thing is. And I know this podcast is like only like 30 minutes long, but I think the biggest thing that frustrates me is like the rest of my crew were white. Becky with the gray hair, you were wrong, and it is a double standard because if he would have touched you would have been ready to call the state troopers. Right. So like we're calling you out because you're ignoring him and his effort to tell you how he feels. But the fact that they didn't even stand up and say that and have my back, it's like, this is America. This is like white America that we live in, where even white people are afraid to address racial.
Well, why don't you take that as a chance to educate and just pull them all aside and be like, this is what should have happened.
I tried. And like it was a moment where I tried to tell them like, hey, if I put my hands on you, and it made you uncomfortable, how would you feel? And the old lady was like, why? No, because I was like, you're not trying to listen.
No, I would have said, if I were to put my hands on you, what would the news have reported? Angry black man grabs old white lady on airplane. Now, let's switch the roles. What would happen? Thug or something complained on airplane after a woman touched his hand. Like...
Again, I'm not categorizing everybody under the same roof, but I'm saying the majority of people, black people, if you bring up, like, if you're sitting at a bar and it's like black people and white people, and like white people are like, can we talk about like what you deal with in your struggles? Black people are like, oh my God, can I take off my wig and tell you what's going on? Like, can I tell you how I feel? Mm-hmm. But when you reverse the roles and it's like, white people are very uncomfortable talking about race and inequities in America. Even like that whole story that's going on with like the academic scandal with like the woman who was on Fuller House. Yeah. Like someone of my crew was like, I don't want to talk about it. There's bigger issues. I'm like, no, bitch. Like this is why affirmative action is real. Classism is real. I'm sorry. My rant is over.
Okay.
It's just been a long week. I just wanted to talk to you all. That's all.
Duck the fuck, Patrick.
I don't have any friends.
I think you fucked the duck on that one. Patrick fucked the duck.
Fuck, Patrick. Jesus, are you done?
No, it's all good. I mean, you covered a lot of good information there. And anyway,
no, let's talk about him because we like on episode 1 we talked about what Gladys wore and what she had on.
Right, like
Renee right now looks like like Urban Outfitters, how everyone's dressed weird, but he looks like Urban's Outfitter meets Butch Lumberjack. Where's Waldo?
Yes.
I like the look. Leave me alone.
Can you take a picture of him, Moneta, and put that on the show notes, please?
Yes,
We can do that,
I will definitely
totally.
do that. Let me tell you about this outfit right
Y'all
here.
are too much.
So we came back from Cheesecake from a pre-recording lunch.
Yeah.
And, we got in and he opened the door. The dog runs down and he runs up. So I'm like, okay, well, the dog needs to be walked. So let me go ahead and walk the dog. Let me walk Bree. Took her out. She did her business, both of them. We came back in and here comes David running down the steps in some shorts and, pink ass socks.
They're red. They're Heather red, bitch.
They look pink as hell.
Well, they've been washed a few times. Can you shut up?
So then I'm like, oh, he's grabbing the leash to go walk Bree, and I'm like, oh no, those are pink. Those are definitely pink.
They're not. They're Heather
If you
gray.
put your hat, your beanie next to those socks,
They're different shades, hooker.
no, that's a completely different color.
And you about to get
50
some.
shades of red.
You about to get some real shade if you don't cut this story out.
So wait a minute. So
Wrap it up.
So no,
We're kidding.
No. So he comes down. He's down here, and I finished walking Bree, and he's grabbing the leash, and I'm like, oh, she's already been walked, and he's like really sad. He's like, oh.
I really wanted to go out.
And then he goes, well, I'm just gonna take her for
An actual
loop.
walk. Yeah, around the block.
And I'm like, no, you actually just want to show the world your outfit. And he was like, but I look cute.
I like my outfits.
I was like, okay, go ahead.
I'm the only single guy in this motherfucking neighborhood. It's all fucking parents and grandparents. So I'm gonna show off my goods, bitch. Y'all can't touch this.
Can't touch it. Na-na-na-na. Can't touch this.
Next episode, dating in the suburbs.
Ugh, non-existent. God. It makes you
Dating
want to
in a
delete your
condominium.
grinder.
A townhome community.
Yeah, literally, that's what it is.
Your neighbors are probably like, oh, God. Come here. Do you see this guy?
Well, shit, my neighbor Instagrams me when I play loud music because her baby's upstairs. And like at one point, they moved it in the middle. Then they moved it upstairs once I moved my studio downstairs. But if my music's too loud, she'll like Instagram me, hey, can you turn your music down? And I'm like, only... No, what's the last thing? Last time I told her, I was like, I hate being gay in the suburbs. And she was like, LOL, that should totally be like a show on Netflix. And I'm like, you know what? We're gonna make a podcast out of that. Gay in the suburbs. The hardships.
So wait, she found you?
She found me a year ago because my music was so loud. Instead of knocking on my door, she Instagrams me.
Well, how did she find you though? That's so weird.
I have no idea, but she found me on Instagram.
Whoa,
Excuse
that's
me,
creepy.
I'm your neighbor. My baby's sleeping. Can you turn the music down? And of course I feel bad. But like during the hardest part of like my PTSD, like they had me on so many meds. Like I had my stereo blast to wake me up, and it was always Beyonce, of course. So at 4 a.m, Beyonce would go off as loud as possible. Sometimes I'd sleep through it for like an hour or 2 hours. But I mean, that's what the
And Crazy in Love is like just the live version is just blaring in the background.
Yes. Oh no, that was during her Lemonade album. What was it? No, Surfboard. What was that song? Drunken Love. Yeah.
Surfboard.
No, let me stop.
We'll be all night.
Yeah.
Love.
Be all morning with my alarm.
Almost called.
We'll be all night. Love.
All right, let's talk about our pre-recording lunch sesh we had.
Lunch sesh.
Because there was like a red hat lady society or something going on. And Gladys looked at me and she's like, is it St. Patrick's Day? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, why?
What?
And I was like, why? She's like, look. And this bitch, she had my little chunky old lady, cute as hell. Everything was green. Like her hat, her jacket. She had shamrock leggings on. I was like, them patty cakes are competing with your patty cakes, patty cake. Freaking St. Patrick's Day it up. Like green from head to toe.
No fuck. She's like, bitch, I know I'm supposed to have my red hat on, but I'm going to be a unicorn today.
Exactly. And like, she had so much print on. Like, I felt like I found the Lucky Charms. Like,
I was like so confused. I was like, oh my gosh, is this St. Patrick's Day today? And then
Meanwhile, everybody except one person has on all red.
Right.
Yeah, but she was owning those.
Oh, she owned it.
Leggings. I was like, wow, that's gonna be us.
Yeah.
Like, no shade. That's gonna be us. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get us all leggings.
No thanks.
We've done that before. Thank you. We're good.
Shamrock, no.
Electric Run.
If we do a marathon,
what did we do? Where did we wear leggings? Electric Run. What year? What year was that when we all wore
I actually
leggings?
just found that bib. I don't remember because I was cleaning stuff out.
Yeah, we all wore leggings. I had to throw mine on. I ripped them because I got too fat.
I have
But anyway,
blue, I have gold, I have bronze, I have silver, I have see-through. I love leggings.
I've never seen you in leggings here.
Well, when I run the marathons.
Oh, true. Yeah, you do.
I like bright ones. I like to stand out, even though I'm slow as hell.
girl, no, I'm slow.
Yeah, you extra slow. So I was like, my
bridge, and I'm like, just leave me. I'm gonna get a beer.
bye. I said, bye, bitch. You won't slow
I
down.
was like, bye, girl. I'll see you later.
Stopped at every snack station.
Bitch, every snack station.
Every snack station, patty case. I was like, where you been, girl? I'm full. I just had a 4-course meal.
Bitch, I ran down that hill. I was so fucking bloated.
Because the Richmond Marathon folks, if you ever run it, they have like the community shows up and they do like they show up with oranges, beer, cookies, snacks. And best believe patty cakes was just scrunching down. I think I saw her take a plate at one point. The bitch walked away with a plate of cookies. I looked back. I was like, Pat, I'm done. I don't know this bitch.
I stopped at the station. They're like, "You want a beer?" I was like, "Sure." Okay.
I'm here for happy hour, guys. You didn't know.
At the beginning of the race, they're like passing me, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm enjoying beers.
This bitch stumbled and rolled over the finish line.
I did. I was like, how do you end a marathon bloated? Like it should be like the opposite. I'm crying.
You're supposed to lose weight, patty cakes. So if y'all don't know, I call patty cakes because she got a big old butt.
That's true.
And since
when I was running the marathon, I actually was slim, but I was bloated when I ended the race.
Yeah. So ever since then, I've just called them patty cakes. So yeah, that was my duck the fuck moment. It just caught me off guard. I saw a flash of green, and it wasn't the Green Lantern, so it was the old lantern.
Oh no!
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
That was so bad. Oh my god!
I cannot. But I can, and I did. So guess what? Next story.
Oh my goodness!
The old one. That bitch going. Oh my god.
My lord.
That flame gonna be burnt out pretty soon, girl.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, I know in episode 3 we talked about Jussie Smollett, and I just had an update. I'm going to run y'all through it really quick. So last week, into the situation, they basically were saying they were going to press charges against him, and now he's facing 16 felony indictments. And so, baby, he showed up to court the other day and
looking good.
Yep. Have you? No, you all have to see the TMZ footage.
He looked like he walked out of a magazine ad for Kenneth Cole, and not the label you find at the outlet malls.
Did you see it? You watched it?
No, I googled it after you told me about it.
Yeah, he showed up with like aviator sunglasses on, looked like a cashmere overcoat and gloves. Yeah. His whole posse showed up with like sunglasses on, but they came in looking like the Black Panther Party of 2019.
2030, girl.
It had me to. And the thing is, he didn't even have to be at court. So like, he showed up because obviously he is saying that he is not guilty. He is pleading not guilty to the 16 counts of disorderly conduct, and
how do we feel about
this? Is all stemming from the January 29th police report where he said that he was like assaulted by 2 men and had a noose around his neck.
If he's that confident, like, what's your opinion? Like, so he's coming in like a freaking like it's a runway show. So maybe he does know something. Like,
girl, he's giving me gay OJ.
Yes.
And the interesting thing is they got his lawyer got it allowed like for cameras to be there for the court proceedings. So the cameras are going to be in the courtroom. Wow. So this is like 2000. This is like OJ stuff. Like it's different, but like
he must know
in
what
terms
he's doing,
of like
man.
The pomp and circumstance, like I feel like everybody's going to be at that court hearing. And interesting enough, since he's shown back up on Empire, like since the show's been running since the incident, the Empire's ratings have plummeted by 35%.
Oh wow!
Oh shit, I haven't seen it. Ooh,
wow!
No.
Have you watched since the incident?
I binge watch, so I haven't watched in a few days.
So that's why the ratings are plummeted 35%.
That's ridiculous. Wow.
So now he's not only messing with his coin, girl, he's messing with everybody's coin.
Oh, Cookie gonna be mad, girl.
They mad as hell, girl.
Can you imagine Terrence Lawrence actually mad? Ooh.
Girl, he probably has been mad.
Like, not
and
even
the thing
in
is, like,
character mad.
the interesting part of it is, like, just for me, I know the last episode we did about Jussie Smollett, you know, me and you, and I think all of us agreed kind of like the law had to be thrown at him. But the thing is, like, this, it's like, I feel like it's just too much. Like, 16 felony counts, like, at the end of the day, like, there was a story, we talked about this in the pre-show a couple of days ago, Renee, when we were kind of like just playing with like Skype and recording about the Pennsylvania judge who was sentenced to 28 years in prison.
Oh, the guy who was Kids for Cash. Yeah, Kids for Cash.
Kids for Cash. So basically, he was in a bribery scandal that basically saw him receiving like up to $1 million in bribes from developers of juvenile detention centers.
Right.
And which meant that like the judge was presiding over cases that would send juveniles, not just juveniles of color, to these same centers.
Wow.
So it became a case known as like a Kids for Cash case.
Oh my God, that reminds me.
But he only got 28 years. Like how many kids did he send away?
I wonder if they're all going to get released.
It's just bullshit. And then also, like, if we're going to talk about people like who like to call the police, let's talk about all the white people who like to call police on black people. Let's talk about
like
golf
fake
cart
news.
fucking Gail, barbecue Becky, Kermit Patty, depressed Debbie, Cornerstone Caroline, baggage claim Becky, coupon Carl, Brooklyn Becky. Just overall white people calling police on black people.
And we're going to put this list of titles in our show notes, people, because it's actually like you have to read it to believe it, because it's just that ridiculous. And that we live in a society where white people feel the need to police black people if they in any instance feel uncomfortable or don't feel like something's wrong, and they feel like something's wrong. So all of a sudden the cops have to get called. No.
Well, the
Live your
crazy
fucking
thing is,
life.
the crazy thing is once the police are called, at least what they could do is just apologize to the African American or the black person and say, you know, I was called here. This is the situation. I really do apologize. There was no need for me to be called in front of the white person or whoever called the police.
I think it's getting to that point now where I think some cops are realizing that you know what, this is actually happening and we need to kind of stand up for the minority. I mean, I have cop friends that got out the military, and I respect cops and what they do. I mean, and the bullshit they have to put up with, whether it's factual or orchestrated, there are cops who are responding and realizing that it's bullshit, and they're making it clearly evident that the person who called them is aware that what they're doing is stupid and unnecessary.
And it's a waste of our tax dollars, to be honest.
Oh my God. Did
I don't
everybody
stop.
have issues? How did everybody deal with the Instagram shit? Like, I was trying to upload the episode for Dior. That was a Wednesday. Yeah, that was yesterday. So everybody, this obviously is airing a week later, but the Instagram outage really affected a lot of people worldwide. You didn't know that?
I did not know about the Instagram outage.
Girl.
That's me trying to not be on Instagram.
Well, it was nothing could refresh. Everything was like just sitting there stagnant.
It was Instagram, Facebook,
WhatsApp.
and WhatsApp. And actually, Twitter didn't have an outage, and they were shading the fuck out of Facebook.
'Cause everybody goes to
Facebook is an
Twitter.
umbrella company of everything else. So, girl, I thought I was.
Oh, you cut out, bitch.
Hello.
Duck
The fuck, Patrick?
Girl, because I was recording, so I think it hit the max time of recording. I don't know what's going on.
You have been recording. That's
Yes.
right. You have to upload that. Okay. So yeah, so you were saying.
well, it's in the thread. But anyway, so what happened was like I thought I was in Instagram jail, so I tried to like upload like a story of like Dior's episode because I usually work behind the scenes on the SoundCloud. Anything SoundCloud, usually I'm the one working behind it. So I was like trying to upload like a SoundCloud link on my Instagram story, and it wouldn't upload. So I was like, wait a minute. So I tried to refresh my feed. It didn't work, and I was like, bitch, did Omar post a nude of me or something? Like,
Yeah.
did he post a cheek in like Instagram jail? So I tried to reset the password. It didn't work, and then like I was asking everybody else, and they were like just scrolling through, like, oh, everything's fine. I'm like, let me Google this. So I asked Renee, I was like, is your Instagram working? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I Googled it and I sent him the thing saying like it was all down. And I was like, why is it just me though?
No, I got that too because I had just uploaded Dior's episode, and then for the rest of the day, because I did it around 11, and then everything went shut down. And so
Until late last night.
Yes, until very late. And there's a lot of like, what do you call it? drama, I guess, behind that, because a couple of sites were blocked. Zero Hedge, which is an alternative news site that is not owned by any corporation, they had been blocked for on Monday, actually, leading up to Wednesday. And so they've been unblocked now, but there's some weird stuff going on. And I know that Facebook recently released a message saying that they're going to be focusing more on secure social media messaging or some sort of like something's happening with Facebook. And, you know, Facebook's been logging every fucking emotion you put out, every rant. It makes me think of Westworld, where if you haven't seen Westworld, basically you're a rich person and you pay to be a human in this robotic android world, and you can shoot and do whatever you want. But it's as if like Facebook and all these social media platforms are documenting, audio documenting and video documenting and everything we're typing to basically study the human emotion. And they can obviously compute that into code and put it into like a robot. So I went on my science rant. I'm sorry. That's my little conspiracy side. Nerd, whatever. Revenge of the nerd. Big old dick. No, anyways.
Yeah, so that just goes to show, because like for me, like I've been going through this entire kind of like cleanse, and it all started with like WhatsApp, and then now it's been Facebook. And I think, girl, I can't get rid of Instagram. Like I'm like, girl, let me just hold on to some kind of social media, because I'm not on Twitter. Like, and like Morena and like Renee really like, can you do something with the social media? I'm like, bitch, no, because I'm not on social media. But like, it's just like, girl, like I'm holding on with my like last pinky nail to Instagram. And when it went down, I was like, bitch, is life over right now? Like, so it kind of like
well, you know what I did?
Awakened my life. I feel like I need to also go like on a social media challenge of no Instagram for a week.
Oh, girl, if I did that, I'd like pass out. Anyways.
But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to volunteer myself as tribute. I'm just saying that it made me think about it for a moment, and then I started scrolling through and looking at stories again.
I would like, so everybody, what did if you guys experienced the outage, what did you do? I actually put my phone down, left it in my office. I went upstairs, and I've had a stack and a grocery bag full of paper that I've been carrying since I was stationed in Japan. And I went through every piece of mail dating back to 2007. And I threw what I needed to throw out, and I cleaned out every possible thing that I needed to clean out. And I found my taxes, which I owe from 2013. That's another story. Anyways, yeah, so that's what I did during that free time. So I would love to hear what you guys did. Comment in show notes, or you can comment on Instagram. I just don't know what you did with your free time. On a more lighthearted note, Gladys, you said you had a couple that I thought were pretty funny, actually. And I did pull one up too, patty cake. So I do have one that I really want to talk about.
So I have one too. I have a couple that are really funny, lighthearted, not as serious. A man from Florida was charged with a DUI after mistaking a Bank of America for a Taco Bell.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes.
When was this?
Wait, what?
This was recent.
Say that again.
Who said that?
Say that again.
A Florida man was charged with a DUI after mistaking a Bank of America for a Taco Bell. So he was arrested after he fell asleep at a Bank of America, and the bank teller manager found him, and he asked where his burrito was.
What? Was he at the drive-thru, or was he like...
He thought he was at the drive-thru.
Oh my God.
Taco Bell.
Oh, that
it ass.
He got arrested for DUI.
That's a good night, though.
Needless to say.
Where's my burrito? You're under arrest, sir.
Sir, you're at the Bank of America. I'm at Taco Bell, bitch. And I want my burrito. I put my money through the machine. You sure it didn't spit money out at you? No, I put it in. You sure that wasn't a deposit, sir?
Oh, he was taken away.
That is too funny. God, falling asleep at a drive-thru.
Termination Boulevard.
And of course that happened in Florida, mind you. The weirdest shit comes out of Florida. People eating people's faces.
It's like crazy stuff.
Gladys, what do you got coming up?
What I have coming up is I will try again with the social media.
And if you didn't see it, guys, I posted a GIF at 1:11 in the morning on Snapchat of her basically saying, "Call me a failure. I'm trying to get paid." Just kidding. No, but the GIF is up there in the show notes. Definitely check it out. It's episode 5. So
yeah, so I actually failed the first time around, so I will try again with the challenge. But this time around, I will not be on Instagram, nor Snapchat. So this will be very interesting. And I will take time to actually go out and volunteer, do some volunteer work, and focus on other things other than social media. So I'm really going to take it seriously this time. It's going to
be
go
to like the Arlington Food Assistance Center, like Young Professionals Night or something. I'll send you info.
On that note, everybody, we are going to be having a couple segments coming up, some really good ones. We have a veteran friend of mine who's getting out and talking about the process of a fucked up surgery he got. And I'll explain a little bit about my process and how difficult it was for me. But also, we want to have a segment that focuses on volunteering and community outreach, which we all contribute to and want to play a bigger role in that. So look out for that. Thank you for joining us on this episode, and we will catch you next time. Everybody, follow us. We're on everything now. At the Squishee Sandwich. At the Squishee Sandwich.
Follow.
And share, please.
And you guys, please don't forget to purchase your tickets for Dee or Ashley Brown's show at the Kennedy Center.
The 23rd.
The 23rd. Definitely do that. We will be there.
Yes, and I have 2 paintings that are part of the show.
Yes,
so
I love those paintings.
Please go see them. And if you see us there, just say hi.
Support.
Love you.
Tell a friend.
Bye.
Bye.